For over 2 decades, viewers have been welcomed into the lives of the Roloff family through the groundbreaking series, Little People, Big World. We've watched them grow, navigate challenges, celebrate triumphs, and build families of their own. At the heart of the show's modern era have been Zach and Tori Roloff. Their love story, their journey into parenthood, and their candid honesty have captivated millions. But after 25 seasons, Zach and Tori have made the difficult decision to close this chapter of their lives. In February 2024, they officially announced they would not be returning to the show that made them household names. This decision marked the end of an era, leaving many fans wondering, why now? And what does the future hold for them? Today, we're taking a deep dive into Zach and Tori's incredible journey. We'll look back at where it all began, explore the unique pressures of raising a family in the spotlight, understand the real reasons behind their departure, and celebrate the lasting legacy they leave behind. This isn't a story of scandal or drama. It's a story of love, growth, and the courage to choose a different path. To understand their departure, we first have to go back to the beginning. Viewers met Zach Roloff as a teenager, navigating life with achondroplasia alongside his twin brother, Jeremy. He was often portrayed as the quieter, more introspective twin, with a deep love for soccer and a strong bond with his parents, Matt and Amy. In 2010, a new face appeared on Roloff Farms. Tori Patton, a kindergarten teacher, was working at the farm during pumpkin season. As Tori herself recounted, she was initially too nervous to approach Zach directly. It was a fellow coworker who played matchmaker. Tori Roloff, we were both too shy to really approach each other, but we had a mutual friend who pushed us. Our first date lasted for 5 hours, and we've been together ever since. Their connection was immediate and undeniable. For the next few years, viewers watched their relationship blossom on screen. Tori, an average-height woman, seamlessly integrated into the Roloff family. Her easygoing nature and genuine affection for Zach were evident. Their relationship offered a powerful, real-world depiction of a mixed-height couple, breaking down stereotypes and normalizing their love story for a global audience. On April 29, 2014, after 4 years of dating, Zach proposed. The engagement, planned meticulously by Zach at a scenic spot on the farm, was a highlight of the show. It was heartfelt, romantic, and perfectly authentic to who they were as a couple. Their wedding on July 25, 2015, held at the very farm where they met, was a fairy tale moment. It was a testament to their journey, from a shy meeting during pumpkin season to a lifelong commitment witnessed by family, friends, and millions of viewers. They were no longer just Zach from Little People, Big World. They were Zach and Tori, a unit, ready to build their own life together. But building that life under the constant gaze of reality TV cameras would present a new set of challenges they were only just beginning to understand. 2 years after their wedding, Zach and Tori announced they were expecting their first child. This brought a new, profound layer to their story. They were open with viewers about the 50% chance that their child would inherit Zach's form of dwarfism, achondroplasia. Their honesty during this time was groundbreaking. They discussed their hopes, their fears, and their unconditional love for their child, regardless of stature. They took viewers along on their journey of learning and preparation, consulting with doctors and specialists. Zach Roloff, I'm not scared of my child having dwarfism. I grew up with it. I know the challenges, but I also know the joy. I just want my kid to be healthy. On May 12, 2017, they welcomed Jackson Kyle Roloff into the world. Jackson was born with achondroplasia, and Zach and Tori embraced their new role as parents with grace and strength. They became powerful advocates, using their platform to educate the public about dwarfism. They shared Jackson's milestones and his challenges, from his infectious smile to the bowing in his legs that would eventually require surgery. Their family continued to grow. Daughter Lila Ray was born on November 19, 2019, also with achondroplasia. And on April 30, 2022, they welcomed their third child, Josiah Luke, who, like his siblings, was also born with achondroplasia. Zach and Tori's parenting style resonated with audiences. They were hands-on, loving, and fiercely protective. They celebrated their children's individuality while openly sharing the medical realities that came with their condition. They filmed doctors' appointments, physical therapy sessions, and major surgeries. This transparency was a double-edged sword. On one hand, it provided invaluable representation and education. Families across the world facing similar circumstances felt seen and understood. On the other hand, it meant their most private, vulnerable moments were being broadcast for public consumption and, inevitably, public judgment. The pressures of filming began to mount, not just from the production schedule, but from the relentless scrutiny of social media. Every parenting decision was dissected, every post was analyzed, and the line between their public and private lives became increasingly blurred. For years, the central question looming over Little People, Big World was the future of Roloff Farms. Matt Roloff had long expressed his desire for one of his children to take over the family business. Both Zach and his twin brother, Jeremy, showed interest at various points. But as time went on, this dream began to crumble, and the fallout would become a major turning point for the family and the show. In 2021 and 2022, the storyline took a dramatic turn. Negotiations between Zach and his father, Matt, over the purchase of a portion of the north side of the farm fell apart. The details were contentious and played out painfully on screen. Zach felt the offer was unfair and that the negotiations were not handled in good faith. Matt maintained he was making a sound business decision. Zach Roloff, the ship has sailed. There's no coming back from this. It's a sad situation. This wasn't just a business deal gone wrong. It was a deep, personal fracture within the family. The optimistic, unified front the Roloffs had maintained for years was shattered. Zach and Tori, feeling betrayed and disillusioned, made a life-altering decision. They moved their family an hour away to Battleground, Washington, creating physical and emotional distance from the farm and the conflict. The tension was palpable in subsequent seasons. Interactions between Zach and Matt became strained and infrequent. Amy Roloff was often caught in the middle, trying to mediate a peace that seemed impossible. For viewers, it was heartbreaking to watch. For Zach and Tori, it was their real life. The place that had been the backdrop for their love story, their wedding, and their children's earliest years was now a source of pain. This conflict fundamentally changed their relationship with the show. It was no longer just about sharing their family life. It was about reliving one of the most difficult periods of their lives, over and over again for the cameras. The joy of filming was being replaced by a sense of obligation and emotional exhaustion. The seeds of their departure were firmly planted. The speculation about their exit had been swirling for years, but the confirmation came in February 2024 on their new podcast, Raising Heights. In a candid and emotional episode, Zach and Tori laid out their reasons for leaving the show that had defined their lives for so long. Tori Roloff, we are not coming back, and we are so excited about it. The chapter has closed. We are done. We are moving on. Zach Roloff, it wasn't something we just decided overnight. It was a long time coming. The show was creating a very unhealthy environment for us, for our family. They explained their decision with remarkable clarity. The primary reason was their children. They spoke about the pressures of filming on Jackson, their oldest. They described moments where the presence of cameras created an artificial environment, and they worried about the long-term effects of a childhood lived in the public eye. They wanted to give their kids a chance at a normal life, away from production schedules and scripted scenarios. Tori also spoke about the negativity and the toll it took on her mental health. She described how certain narratives were crafted by production for drama, including exaggerating family tensions. She recalled a specific instance where a producer's question was designed to provoke a negative reaction from her about her sister-in-law, Audrey Roloff. It was a moment of clarity for her. The entertainment value of the show was beginning to outweigh the authenticity of their lives. The farm dispute was, of course, a massive factor. They felt the show had become centered on family drama that they no longer wanted to be a part of. By stepping away, they were reclaiming their own story. They were drawing a boundary and putting the health and happiness of their family first. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about a single fight. It was a cumulative effect, the weight of public scrutiny, the desire to protect their children, and the need to heal from family fractures without the entire world watching. So what does life after Little People, Big World look like for Zach and Tori? It looks peaceful. It looks intentional. They have settled into their home in Washington, creating a private sanctuary for their family. Zach is coaching his son Jackson's soccer team, a full-circle moment for a man whose own love of the sport was a key part of his story on the show. Their podcast, Raising Heights, has given them a new voice. Here, they control the narrative. They speak directly to their audience about topics they are passionate about: parenthood, faith, and navigating life's ups and downs on their own terms. It's a space that is wholly their own, free from producer influence or editing for dramatic effect. Their departure, along with the departures of Jeremy and Audrey, and Molly and Jacob, signals a fundamental shift for the show itself. Little People, Big World is now primarily the story of Matt and Amy, the first generation, navigating their lives post-divorce with their new partners. The next generation of roll-offs has chosen a different path. But Zach and Tori's legacy is undeniable. For 18 years, Zach shared his life with the world. He grew from a shy teenager into a devoted husband and a remarkable father. Through him, audiences gained a deeper understanding of the daily realities of living with dwarfism. Tori brought a fresh perspective, immense warmth, and a fierce maternal instinct to the screen. Together, they offered a powerful portrait of a modern family. They educated millions on achondroplasia, not through lectures, but by simply living their lives with openness and honesty. They showed the world that a family's strength isn't defined by stature, but by love. In the end, their decision to leave is perhaps the most powerful storyline of all. It's a story about choosing family over fame, privacy over publicity, and well-being over a television contract. While fans will miss seeing the family on their screens each week, Zach and Tori have given their family, and themselves, the greatest gift of all: the freedom to write their own next chapter, far away from the rolling cameras. And for that, they've earned not our judgment, but our deepest respect. In our last segment, we covered Zach and Tori's journey from their storybook wedding to the heartbreaking family conflict that led them to leave Little People, Big World. But the pressures they faced weren't limited to the production cameras or family disagreements. In the 21st century, reality television has an unseen co-star, one that follows its subjects long after the crew packs up for the day. That co-star is social media, and for Zach and Tori, it was a double-edged sword that played a crucial role in their quest for a private life. With a combined following of over 3 million people on Instagram alone, Zach and Tori became more than just reality stars. They became major influencers. This platform allowed them to connect with their audience on a personal level, sharing moments that didn't make it onto the show. It was a space to share family photos, celebrate birthdays, and offer a glimpse into their daily lives. For Tori, in particular, it became a powerful tool for community. She connected with mothers around the world, sharing her struggles and triumphs in parenting. She built a supportive network for families raising children with dwarfism, offering representation and a sense of shared experience that was invaluable to many, but this direct line to the public came at a cost. Every post, every picture, every caption was placed under an intense microscope. The supportive comments were often drowned out by a torrent of unsolicited advice and harsh criticism. They were subjected to relentless mom-shaming, with strangers questioning their parenting choices, from what their kids were eating to how their home was decorated. After Lila underwent a significant eye surgery, and later when Jackson had surgery to correct the bowing in his legs, their comment sections were flooded with unqualified medical opinions. Their most vulnerable family moments became a forum for public debate. Tori has spoken openly about the mental toll this took. The pressure to present a perfect family life, while simultaneously being torn down for perceived imperfections, was exhausting. Tori Roloff, I have to remind myself that people only see a snapshot of our lives. It's a curated version. It's not always easy to read comments from people who think they know you or your children based on a 30-second clip. This constant digital scrutiny compounded the pressures of filming. Leaving the show wasn't just about turning off the TV cameras. It was an attempt to lower the volume on the relentless noise of public opinion. It was a move to reclaim their family's narrative, not just from producers, but from the millions of strangers who felt they had a right to weigh in on their private lives. Zach and Tori's departure was not an isolated event. To fully understand it, we must see it as the final chapter in a much larger story, the exodus of the Roloff children from the show that raised them. First, there was Jeremy and his wife, Audrey. They left the show in 2018. Like Zach and Tori, they wanted to pursue their own ventures, books, podcasts, and businesses outside of the network's narrative. They expressed a desire to present a more authentic version of their lives, feeling that the show's editing no longer reflected their family's reality. Then there's the youngest sibling, Jacob Roloff. He left the show years earlier and has been the family's most outspoken critic of reality television. Jacob has publicly stated that the show was a source of trauma, forcing a manufactured reality upon him during his formative years. He and his wife, Isabel, chose to raise their son completely out of the public eye, a stark rejection of the life he was forced to live. And finally, there's the only daughter, Molly. Always the most private of the siblings, Molly moved away for college and never looked back. She has built a quiet, professional life with her husband in Washington, appearing on the show only on rare, special occasions. Her choice was clear from the beginning, a life of normalcy. When you look at the pattern, a clear picture emerges. Every single one of the Roloff children, upon starting their own families, made the deliberate choice to step away from the reality TV spotlight. They all, in their own ways, decided that the benefits of fame and fortune were not worth the cost to their privacy and the well-being of their children. Zach and Tori were simply the last to reach that same conclusion. Their exit wasn't just an end for them, it was the definitive end of the next generation, era of little people, big world. Here in the autumn of 2025, it has been over a year and a half since Zach and Tori's final episode aired. The question on every fan's mind was, will they find the peace they were looking for? All signs point to a resounding yes. Life in Battleground, Washington, has become their sanctuary. Far from the constant buzz of the farm and the production crews, they have embraced a quieter, more community-focused existence. Zach has fully leaned into his passion for coaching. He's a regular presence on the local soccer fields, coaching not only 8-year-old Jackson but other kids in the community as well. It's a role where he is seen not as a TV star, but simply as Coach Zach. Their podcast, Raising Heights, has flourished. It has become their primary way of sharing their lives, but on their own schedule and their own terms. They've tackled more complex topics, from navigating the school system with children who have unique needs to maintaining a strong marriage amidst the chaos of parenting 3 young kids. It's authentic, unedited, and a clear reflection of the freedom they now enjoy. Jackson, now 8, Lila, nearly 6, and Josiah, 3, are thriving. They are enrolled in local schools and activities, growing up with a sense of normalcy that would have been impossible under the glare of the cameras. Their parents have successfully transitioned them from on-screen characters to kids living their lives. While they maintain a presence on social media, the tone has shifted. It's less about performing for an audience and more about sharing genuine moments with the community they've built. They've found the balance they were desperately seeking. Zach and Tori Roloff's story is a powerful modern parable. It's a testament to the fact that you can grow up in the most public way imaginable and still choose a different path for your own children. They traded a world of scripts and storylines for a life of soccer games and quiet evenings. They may no longer be on our television screens, but by all accounts, they are more present than ever in the place that matters most, their own lives. They didn't just close a chapter, they wrote a brand new book. When a show's central characters depart, the story is inevitably altered forever. Zach and Tori's exit from Little People, Big World wasn't just the loss of 2 cast members, it was the loss of the show's next generation. It forced a fundamental pivot, leaving both the series and its viewers to navigate a new and uncertain era. As of late 2025, Little People, Big World has continued to air, but its focus has dramatically shifted. The series has, in essence, returned to its roots, centering on the lives of the original matriarch and patriarch, Matt and Amy Roloff, as they navigate their separate futures. The primary storylines now revolve around Matt and his fiancée, Karen Chandler. Viewers have followed the ambitious construction of their dream home on the farm property, a project that is both a symbol of Matt's enduring vision and a constant, physical reminder of the family disputes that led to its construction. The drama is now less about family succession and more about logistics, timelines, and Matt's ongoing health challenges. Meanwhile, Amy and her husband, Chris Merrick, have forged their own path. Their story is one of a second chapter in life, exploring hobbies, traveling, and enjoying their life together away from the farm's immediate orbit. Amy's role as grandma remains a key part of her identity, but her on-screen interactions with her grandchildren are now, by necessity, less frequent and more carefully orchestrated. What is profoundly missing, however, is the chaotic, vibrant energy that the grandchildren brought to the screen. The playful scenes at the pumpkin patch, the family holiday gatherings, the milestone birthday parties. These moments, which were the heart and soul of the show for nearly a decade, are largely gone. The series now carries a more somber, reflective tone. It's a portrait of a family that has fractured, with its core members scattered. For the loyal audience that grew up alongside the Roloff children, it's a bittersweet reality, and it poses the ultimate question: how long can the show survive without the little people of the next generation? While the show they left behind was adapting to their absence, Zach and Tori were busy architecting their own future. They executed a career pivot that has become the new blueprint for reality stars everywhere. They transformed from on-screen talent into independent digital entrepreneurs. This wasn't simply about launching a podcast. It was about building a personal brand, completely divorced from a network's control. Their podcast, Raising Heights, became the hub of their new enterprise. It allowed them to engage in lucrative host read ads and sponsorships with brands that genuinely aligned with their family-focused values. Their social media platforms evolved from personal diaries into powerful marketing tools. Through sponsored posts and affiliate links, they created income streams that relied not on manufactured drama, but on the authentic trust they had built with their audience over years. This move represents a critical transfer of power. As television personalities, their income, schedule, and public image were largely dictated by producers. As digital creators, they are in the driver's seat. They decide what to share, when to work, and how to present their family to the world. They traded the security of a network contract for the freedom of self-employment, proving that their value was not tied to a TV show, but to the community they had cultivated themselves. When Little People, Big World first premiered, the world was a different place. Reality television was still finding its footing, and a show that offered an honest, unfiltered look into the life of a family with dwarfism was revolutionary. Its first legacy will always be one of representation. The Roloffs opened their doors, and in doing so, opened the minds of millions. They demystified dwarfism, replacing stereotypes with a portrait of a loving, complicated, and deeply human family. But as the years went on, a second, more complex legacy emerged, one forged not by the parents, but by their children. The collective decision of all four Roloff siblings to remove their own families from the public eye serves as a powerful, cautionary statement on the long-term cost of a childhood lived on screen. Their exodus is a testament to a generation that, having experienced the pitfalls of fame firsthand, chose to give their own children the one thing they never had, a private life. And within that story is the personal legacy of Zach and Tori. They shared their love story, their journey into parenthood, and their deepest vulnerabilities with the world. They educated audiences on the specific challenges and joys of raising children with achondroplasia. But their final, and perhaps most important, act was choosing to say goodbye. Their legacy is a dual one. They were both the heart of the show's modern success and the catalyst for its inevitable transformation. They taught us about family, resilience, and advocacy. And in the end, they taught us that true success isn't measured in seasons on the air or the size of an audience, but in the peace and happiness you build for your family when the cameras finally stop rolling.